EPIRBs are battery-powered transmitters that broadcast radio signals designed to help rescue units find you during an emergency at sea. Next to your radio, an EPIRB is the most effective distress signal at your disposal. It can beckon help from virtually any spot on the globe. An EPIRB functions in three ways. EPIRBs emit a distress signal that can alert search and rescue authorities within receiving range that you're in trouble. The signal enables authorities to determine your position, and rescue units can home in on the EPIRB signal and fly directly to you. EPIRBs operate in conjunction with a special system of international search and rescue satellites to provide worldwide all-weather signaling capability. EPIRB frequencies are usually monitored by commercial and military aircraft. Federal regulations now require most commercial vessels to carry EPIRBs. Even where no regulatory requirements exist, there are compelling moral and legal reasons why all commercial and recreational vessels that go to sea today should carry EPIRBs. If you're unsure about the regulatory requirements that apply to your vessel, consult the U.S. Coast Guard. In any case, your own well-being and that of your passengers and crew may well depend on having a properly maintained and operated EPIRB. Traditionally, EPIRBs have been categorized as Class A, or automatic, Class B, or manual, and Class C, or inshore. Class A and B EPIRBs operate at 121.5 and 243 megahertz. These are civilian and military distress frequencies that are monitored by satellites and aircraft. Class C EPIRBs operate only on VHF channels 15 and 16 and do not function as part of the satellite system. A new system of 406 megahertz satellite EPIRBs became operational in 1989. Designated as Category 1, or automatic, and Category 2, or manual, these new EPIRBs represent the state-of-the-art in rescue technology and are intended to gradually replace the older units. The new 406 megahertz EPIRBs are now required on many commercial vessels. Your old equipment may satisfy federal regulations for several more years if it was installed before October 3rd, 1988. If you're shopping for new equipment, only the approved 406 megahertz units meet legal requirements for commercial vessels. While 406 megahertz EPIRBs are substantially larger and more expensive than the older Class A, B, or C units, they are also substantially more accurate and effective.
Confused? The transition from one system to another does raise questions. For the latest information on exact type requirements and deadlines, consult the U.S. Coast Guard. When you do upgrade to 406 megahertz, don't throw away your old equipment. While they may no longer meet legal requirements, Class A, B, and C EPIRBs are still effective and can still save your life.
EPIRBs are either automatic or manual. Automatic units must be installed in a manner that permits them to float free from a sinking vessel. Once freed from the canister or mounting bracket, an automatic EPIRB turns itself on and assumes the correct operating position. Automatic units must also have a manual switch for both activating and disarming the EPIRB. Manual units must be switched on by the user. Except for the old Class C units that have limited ranges and are intended strictly for inshore or nearshore use, EPIRB signals can be picked up by search and rescue satellites or by overflying aircraft. In either case, the message is relayed to a rescue coordination center. While the old 121.5 243 megahertz system enables authorities to determine the location of an EPIRB signal, the more stable signal provided by the new 406 megahertz system provides greater accuracy and greatly improves the chance that you'll be found quickly. Once authorities at the Rescue Coordination Center have determined the location of the emergency, they mobilize Coast Guard, military, or even civilian personnel who are best able to provide assistance. In most cases, the first response unit on the scene will be an aircraft, which is able to home in on the EPIRB signal. A vessel equipped with the proper radio equipment can also home in on the EPIRB signal.
.406 megahertz EPIRBs can be either the automatically activated Category 1s or the manually activated Category 2s. These new EPIRBs have numerous advantages. Each 406 megahertz unit is assigned a unique identity code that allows authorities to determine who is in trouble. The registered owner of the EPIRB can then be contacted to verify the emergency. This feature helps eliminate a serious false alarm problem that has interfered with the effectiveness of the older EPIRB system. It also helps rescue authorities gain vital information about who and what they're looking for. Is it a small pleasure boat or a factory trawler with a crew of 100? The technological superiority of the new units translates into a much faster emergency response, which is crucial for successfully rescuing survivors, especially in cold or harsh conditions. With the old EPIRBs, delays are sometimes caused by a system limitation that requires a satellite to be in view of both the signaling beacon and an earth station at the same time. The new 406 units send a signal that can be relayed by the satellite immediately or held in memory until a ground station is in sight. This store and forward capability dramatically improves rescue response time. The 406 megahertz signal also enjoys a clear channel that's dedicated to the EPIRB system. The 121.5 and 243 megahertz frequencies are shared by other users. They often suffer from interference. Another feature of the new Category 1 and 2 units is a low power transmission on 121.5 megahertz that's used as a homing signal. Category 1 and 2 EPIRBs also carry a strobe light that functions as a visual distress signal for pinpointing visual location. Category 1 EPIRBs are housed in canisters that are fastened to the vessel. The canister incorporates a hydrostatic release that frees the unit if it is submerged. The EPIRB then floats free and activates automatically. The best place to mount a Category 1 is where the EPIRB is least likely to be obstructed during deployment. Think of it in the same terms as a life raft with a hydrostatic release. The top of the wheelhouse or superstructure is usually the best place. Category 2 EPIRBs are not externally housed, but are kept in brackets that should be mounted in an easily accessible space. Crew and passengers should be informed of the EPIRB's location and instructed how to operate it. Like Category 1 EPIRBs, Class A units must be mounted so they can float free during an emergency. Since Class A's are smaller, they can be mounted on a vertical surface, such as the side of a mast. Class B EPIRBs must be manually switched on and should be kept easily accessible. Again, tell your crew where they are and how they work. A variation on the Class B EPIRB is the Mini B. This is a personal unit designed to be attached to a life vest or immersion suit. A Mini B EPIRB is not buoyant, so make sure it's secured to you or kept inside a life raft. Type S EPIRBs are specially designed for use in life rafts. They operate at 121.5 and 243 megahertz, just like Class A or B units, but they can be rigged to activate automatically as the life raft inflates. A Class S used in this manner must be installed in strict compliance with the raft manufacturer's instructions by factory-authorized technicians. The Class C EPIRB was designed for nearshore and inland waters. It must be manually activated. Again, like other manually activated EPIRBs, keep it accessible so it can be grabbed easily during an emergency. Class C EPIRBs transmit a characteristic warbling alert on VHF channel 16 that should be recognized by all boat operators. Following the alert signal, a Class C transmits a homing signal on channel 15. These signals are automatically repeated in sequence.
As with any survival gear, keeping your EPIRBs in tip-top condition is vital. Another key point is the potential for the accidental triggering of the EPIRB by careless handling. False alarms can needlessly mobilize search and rescue operations, possibly jeopardizing someone who's really in trouble. False alarms can also result in fines levied against the EPIRB owner. Since EPIRBs are battery-powered, maintaining a fresh battery is crucial. A good battery will keep an EPIRB operating for 48 hours, even in Arctic conditions. The battery expiration date is clearly marked on the battery. Make sure the battery is properly connected. New EPIRBs are shipped with the battery disconnected to prevent false alarms during transit. When you connect a new battery, be certain that the switch is off, no matter what the type. In addition to checking the battery and its connections, inspect for corrosion in the battery compartment and on the outside of the unit or housing. External deposits of salt should be rinsed off with fresh water. According to new Coast Guard rules, operators who are required to carry EPIRBs must check and test their units once a month and log the results. The Coast Guard recommends that all EPIRB owners follow the same schedule. Like any procedure during which EPIRBs are handled, testing must be performed properly to prevent false alarms. To test 121.5 243 MHz EPIRBs, you need an FM radio receiver and a watch. Testing must only be done during the first 5 minutes of the hour. This is the International Distress Frequency Test Period. When the time is right, tune the radio to 99.5 MHz and activate the EPIRB. If it is working properly, the indicator lamp will flash and you will hear a rapid series of distinctive tones on the radio. Turn off the EPIRB as soon as you hear the signal. A full power test must not last longer than 1 second or 3 audio sweeps. If you don't hear the signal, the EPIRB may need professional servicing. Testing 406 MHz EPIRBs cannot be done with a radio, except for the low-power homing signal. The higher frequency cannot be heard on a standard AM/FM radio. Category 1 and 2 units have a self-testing circuit which performs an internal check and transmits a special testing signal. Again, the test must only be made during the first 5 minutes of the hour. The minute you realize you need an EPIRB, check to see that the unit is on. Although many models activate automatically, others have to be manually switched on. Whatever type or types you have, make sure they are turned on. After they are turned on, leave them on. If you have multiple units, use them alternately for periods of 6 hours each, always maintaining a constant transmission. If possible, keep the antenna vertical and near the water. Water completes the antenna ground plane and improves signal quality. Keep the EPIRB attached to your immersion suit or life raft. In heavy seas, protect the EPIRB by keeping it inside the life raft, and don't touch the antenna while the unit is transmitting. EPIRBs are very effective distress signals that can alert authorities to the existence and location of an emergency. EPIRBs may either be automatically or manually activated. Vessels that are required to carry EPIRBs must have automatically activated units that will float free in a sinking. The new 406 MHz EPIRBs are technologically superior to the older models. They provide improved location detection and allow search and rescue personnel to respond more quickly to emergencies at sea. During installation, inspection, or testing, be very careful of accidental activation. False alarms are a waste of time and money and can result in penalties. During an emergency, make certain the EPIRB is turned on and stays on until help arrives.